Warning, the following video contains spoilers. I particularly found fascinating the hero's journey that being retold through Diana's journey, being there isolated in her own environment with her own people, the Amazons, and then how the outside world sort of collides with that, and she's pulled out into this journey into the broader world. Interesting that at key points, at two particularly key points in the movie, it is loss, it is death that propels significant change and advancement in her character. So I'd be curious to sort of maybe start there and see what you guys' thoughts are on this notion that it's loss and death that brings about realization and change for Diana as she becomes the superhero that she's capable of being, but doesn't necessarily know yet that she is at the beginning of the story.
She took that energy of losing someone and doing good and not getting upset and like killing mankind. She didn't do that. She did the opposite. So for me, it was very powerful because we lose someone. Oftentimes people get angry. They might go off and kill the whole neighborhood.
Jeez.
Well, I'm just talking about what I would do if I lost somebody that was very, very close to me. You know, like if they had to kill themselves to save mankind or get killed because somebody was, invading their territory. We tend to get angry and do the opposite, where she just went and like saved mankind through her anger. Well, it wasn't really anger; it was good energy from losing people. So
I didn't really think about the hero's journey in the sense of the time of loss, but it does make a lot of sense. Her aunt, General Antiope, when she died, you see a shift in her mindset, that she didn't feel that she belonged only on Thermosia, that she belonged out in the world protecting humankind.
Right, there's that call out of what is her ordinary world into the special world driven by that loss. Yeah.
And before then, she had never experienced loss. Mm-hmm. So that was her first time experiencing loss, and that was her first time she experienced attack when the Germans came in and started attacking her homeland because they were going after Steve Trevor. But in doing so, they attacked her own people. The Amazons were born and raised to protect mankind. Mm-hmm. And I think seeing the death of one of the greatest soldiers of Thermosia, who was also her aunt, was just even more motivation to finally leave. Towards the end of the film, when Steve Trevor dies, there was a lot of conflict there. It wasn't exactly a quick turning point. Before he died, there was a lot of confusion of whether she believed that humankind was even worth saving at that point anymore.
Right.
And so his death and what it meant to humankind, he chose to sacrifice his life for the betterment of all people. And that opened her eyes to that. You can argue that people aren't worth or deserve saving, but then you see these moments, these silver linings where, you know what, maybe they are. You know, maybe it isn't this blanket statement, and maybe they don't have it all right, but we need to give them the opportunity to make those choices. And you start to see that shift in your mind, that it's not as simple as black and white, as good and evil, that there's this mixture of both in everybody. What she's trying to do is to allow people, and at least that's what I got from it, is allow people to have the opportunity to choose good.
while you're talking, I see that she had that to be that kind of person from a little girl. She, was so curious as to, I want to learn to fight. I want to learn to go into battle. She was so mesmerized by the God killer. She had that in her from a very young age. So like when her aunt did die, her aunt was like, go. So it planted a seed for her already, like the whisper thing, like you're getting ready to go on a different journey.
Right.
And when that time comes, you go.
And there's a great level of idealism, I think, in her perspective throughout the movie. The key moment of the end of Act 2, where really she hits the low point, is when that idealism is called into question. When she so firmly believes that if she kills Ares, everything will be overturned, and then she kills who she thinks is Ares, and then
like, why isn't it stopping?
and it's not happening, and then suddenly everything's kind of called into question. There is this complexity now to the world that she exists in. But I love that question of a lot of these really big comic book movies deal with, which is this question of is the human race worth saving? It's a little different in this context because I think there's something to be said about the feminine perspective that the film takes, even though it deals very directly with violence and warfare. It's fascinating to me to see a female lead character and a female director sort of bring to that front of that balancing act of talking about the negative sides of the human race, but then at the conclusion of the film in a lot of ways is, but I believe in love. Thank you so much for watching. At Stories by the River, we believe that stories and movies help us ask important questions about life and discover meaning and connection with other people. We believe that so much that not only do we discuss movies, we make movies as well. So I encourage you to check out our YouTube channel, hit subscribe, and check us out on storiesbytheriver.org as well, where you can find both our short films and all kinds of content behind the scenes and discussions around the ideas and themes that come up in the stories that we love the most. Thank you.